Hello and welcome to episode number 50. I wanted to celebrate this episode for you guys with a different sort of musician, looking at one of my favourite albums of all time from a folk and soul singer going by the name of Michael Kiwanuka. And I don't say that lightly, seriously. Once this episode is over, just sit back, close your eyes and listen to a few tracks. You'll know what I mean when I say this is one of my favourites. Before I begin, I'd like to take this moment to state a quote from an interview he gave, Red Bull, in 2019. Read it. Awards are like landmarks. They keep you on this journey. A Grammy will never really solve any real issues, but it can make you keep going. Think on that. Praise, even from individuals, is psychological at best in its benefits. At its core, Michael is a musician that believes innate skill and a reflective attitude is the real key to success. Think on that as I continue. His influences include songwriting techniques from Bob Dylan, the demeanour and power of the late Bill Withers, or the evocative mood set by Marvin Gaye, whose 1971 album What's Going On is his favourite of all time. He also favours Jimi Hendrix and Prince for their ability to sonically craft a broad range of genres without feeling unfamiliar. So basically, he's more influenced by the golden era than the present era. One interesting thing to note is that in his hard rock interview in 2011, he states that it always changes from song to song on how he actually conceives a piece. But during the construction of a song, he usually starts with the chords, then the melody, and then the words most of the time. It's interesting to note how he hasn't confined himself to a particular way of making music, but he's always reverting back to a tried and tested way that works for him. 2012 was a powerful year of releases, but Home Again was definitely insane and still to this day being one of the best folk and soul records of the decade. Released when he was only 24 on accepting death, the wonder of life's ambitions and the inevitability of struggles. That's what this album was, and that's why it was so special. The track Home Again, for example, features a quieter vocal presence, while I'll Get Along is more upbeat and pushes his rich tone to the forefront, along with vocal harmonies. There's range here, and it's not just a single sound. Home Again also had powerful production. It has jazz flutes, great saxophone flourishes, and string and brass arrangements that definitely hark back to the age of Terry Callier and Nick Drake. Paul Butler, who was in charge of the production, also added a layer of distortion to Michael's voice to give it a slightly aged texture, but it's not so much that he's undecipherable, he's still crystal clear. Now, even before Home Again, he supported Adele on her 2011 tour. He was also invited to Hawaii by Kanye himself, but he left after being in the studio for a while. He just left. He suffered from imposter syndrome, and looking back, he told Red Bull that failing early on is the best way to learn. He just felt out of place and he admits that. He mentioned that it's not a fun or enjoyable thing to fail, but that it's essential to growth. And I find that part fascinating, that someone so gifted, even at an early stage, could recognize his own visions and his own failures without being blinded by rewards. And that's the true definition of authenticity, in my opinion. Home Again beat Frank Ocean in the BBC's Sound of 2012 poll. That's not an easy accomplishment by any stretch, and he was also nominated for a Mercury Prize. Home Again was a simple album, one that I think will 100% stand the test of time, because it's relatable in an abstract manner. The line, "Many times I've been told, all this talk will make you old," from the track Home Again it's relatable. The idea that your own self-analysis can cripple who you are and over-influence what you do. Stop overthinking is the message here. I like how on the track They Say I'm Doing Just Fine, he references how the music industry, like many in life, is ruthless and cold without meaning. That he's still searching for true meaning and that he doesn't know what else he'd do in life. Now, whether he actually means the music industry or music in general, it's up for anyone to decide. I love that because people in life, well, anyone in life really, always tend to strive for purpose and what they want to do. And music is the real answer to that from Michael. This line in particular hits hard. It's a powerful ode, with him rhetorically asking when his efforts will pay off. We're all human. We like to be rewarded for our work, but in Michael's case, he may have been talking about his life before, when he was a session musician, a time which wasn't nearly as glamorous as the current moment, or when he really wasn't in the spotlight. I think the key lesson from this line is be authentic, but be patient, because that's all that can get you through spells of self-doubt. It's that confidence that's not overbearing. Overall, I've scratched just the surface of this beautiful album, and it's funny. I've never sat down and struggled to listen to it. I've never struggled to listen to this album. There are songs that make you think, but overall, it helps me personally be at peace, and I hope it helps you be at peace too. There's so much noise outside nowadays. Everyone's saying or shouting or arguing or trying to gain something out in the world. It's crazy. Home Again, to me, is more than a throwback to the 70s. It's a reminder. It's a reminder not to take the worries of life so seriously, but also be in the moment and be present.